Welcome to this episode of YQCasting. Joining us today, we have Edward Williams, aka Tommy.
Hey, how you doing? As you heard, it's Edward or Tommy. I go by both. Just don't call me late for supper is all. I'm 24. 24, shift manager at Papa John's. I've been there for a little over a year now. And I'm here with my good friends at YQuest. And they want to ask me a few things. What you got for me, Darren?
Well, yeah, you said you've been to YQuest, so that's where we know you, right?
Yes.
You came to YQuest, I believe, because you were homeless?
Yeah, I was homeless for about a year and a half.
About a year and a half?
Maybe a little more, give or take.
Alright, so homeless how so? Like, do you mean like literally on the streets?
There was a few nights where I did sleep on the streets. That was, wow. That was interesting, yeah. But homeless shelters and surf couching for the most part.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, on the streets, what did you do when you were, how to stay at night on the streets?
Oh, God. I remember there was a night where me and a friend of mine, we were, out on the streets. So, it was by Moncton High, I think it was. There was an abandoned house, and there was a shed behind it. And, yeah.
Alright, yeah.
Just slept in the shed, really, for a few hours. It was too cold for anything more.
Yeah, what time of year was that?
It was, I think, fall.
Fall, okay.
I think so, yeah.
It's starting to get pretty cool.
Yeah, it was.
Yikes. So the shelters and everything like that, how is it staying in a shelter? What's that whole experience kind of like? How would you describe it?
Oh, boy. Well, you really find out that a lot of people were not growing up with the same values as you.
Okay. Yeah. Meet some different types of people.
There's a lot of I don't really care about your personal space or your sound and all that kind of stuff. So they'll be overbearing or they'll be all up in your face. Mm-hmm. But
an intimidating kind of way.
Well, no, not an intimidating kind of way. It's just there's a lot of homeless people.
Yeah.
So there's not and there's not a lot of room for it. So
how many people do you think stayed there in one night? Do you have an estimation?
Yeah, they have. Hang on, 1, 2. I think about 4 rooms for guys and 1 for girls. Just because that's at the Harvest House. Just because they're not. They don't have a lot of women for homeless.
Yeah.
So most of the nights were packed. Yeah.
So, yeah, you say a room. That's not a couple of beds in a
room. No, there's
right?
2, 4, 6, 8. So there's 4 bunk beds. Yeah, so 8 people a room.
8 people
roughly,
a room?
Yeah.
So about 32 guys each night?
Roughly.
Or some people just... if they have a bed there, did you go on the street or would you have to lay on the floor?
No, there were some occasions where some people would sleep downstairs on a single bed mattress, or like if you had a wheelchair, you couldn't go upstairs, so you had to do that as well. But they made room. They made sure there was room.
How many people do you think were staying there on a regular basis?
Oh, God.
Were the rooms mostly full?
Mostly, yeah. I'd say in each room, give or take, 1 or 2 beds not taken up.
Okay.
So, yeah, do that math.
So close to about 30 people or so. Yeah.
Yeah.
For the 30 males, and then the women, you said there was 2 rooms?
No, there was, I think, just one room for them.
Just one room.
One room.
Yeah, one room with 8 beds, but that was not always filled.
And that wasn't filled.
Yeah. It's interesting to see that it's mostly the men in the homeless.
Why do you think that is?
Well, I suppose you do hear a lot about, women's shelters and all that kind of stuff. And since there was or is male abuse and all that kind of stuff out there towards women, there's, I think there's more things out there for women to get their feet underneath them, I suppose, if you will. Compared to men.
Yeah.
Would you say that it's easier for a female to find a place to live or like a place to stay for a night versus you and other people that you might...
Well, generally I find the world is easier for a woman altogether, but...
but I know some women that would disagree with that.
Yeah, but it's an interesting concept.
Yes.
Yeah.
From your perspective, like in your lifestyle.
In that style.
In your lifestyle, you feel that it's easier to be a female.
Oh, God, it'd be awesome. But, we're given what we're given for a reason, right? And it's good to learn. But, no, Now, I suppose it depends. For me, it wasn't that difficult just because I'm the type where I can get along with almost anybody.
Yeah.
And that has really helped out.
Yeah.
I find that I'm able to get on almost any level that is needed for a person.
Okay.
So then I go at it from that aspect, and that has really helped me keep me off the streets. I probably only slept on the streets about 2 nights maybe in general. So, but it was mostly couch surfing more than anything.
Your good manners and glowing personality is really kind of for you.
Yeah, that's what I suppose. Yeah. Well, it comes back to where growing up, where my parents always taught, like, think of your neighbors, or if you're sitting down and there's an older person that has no seat, give it up, that type of thing. And I've tried to work that into everything, and not just with age or gender. I try to, treat everyone as equals type of deal.
Yeah. Well, so it sounds like your parents instilled some pretty good values on you.
Yeah.
So what led to you being homeless in this situation?
Well, let's see. I'm originally from Labrador. Woohoo! They say Newfie, but no, Labrador.
It's a bad
misconception.
There's a distinct difference between the Rock and Labrador.
Let's see. I lived there for a good I was almost 15 when I moved here, but father was great into drinking, loved that stuff, but to the point where he would spend all of our money. My mother wanted to get away from it, so she took me and my sister to New Brunswick. Yay, Moncton.
Come on now, it's like moving to the from like the city to the bigger city.
Oh, there was no city where I was.
Yeah, but say not much Labrador, sir.
I thought maybe you were in Lab City. You don't know.
No, it was about just an hour away. An hour away. Yeah, it was bad. Anyway, no, we moved here, and my mother and father were split for a little bit there. They got back together. All things was fine and dandy, and so that's what led me to Moncton. But then I think I was about 21 years old. I moved out with my parents, of course, fell into some bad stuff.
Yeah.
And I ended up moving back into my parents. No job and all that kind of stuff. I had a job when I left, but I didn't have a job when I went back in.
Yeah.
So, but I was lazy. I was so dependent on my parents, it's like almost really sad.
Okay, yeah.
But my father, he was like, what are you going to do when we're not here? Like, your parents are going to be around forever, so we can't support you all the time. You need to learn to get on your own feet. And that's true, but it just wasn't sinking in for me. I was like, I don't want to grow up. I don't want to be here.
It's always just fun times.
Exactly. I was like, I don't want to experience the real life.
I blame Toys R Us.
Yeah. Yeah, their toys now, it's all like 8 and plus,
and
right?
Plus.
Like,
and they say you don't want to grow up, you want to be a Toys R Us
Yeah.
kid. And I mean, it's instilled in us at a young age.
It is marketing.
Oh, God. Marketing. So, my father gave me a warning, of course, before he kicked me out, but I didn't heed his warnings. So, he kicked me out. Oh, I think that was like the lowest I've ever felt. Oh, so close to suicide, all that fun stuff.
Okay. So, yeah, that would obviously be very hard. Have your parents, must have been some pretty mixed feelings there.
Oh, yeah.
Some complex feelings towards your parents at the time.
I understood where he came from, but I didn't want to face it, I suppose.
Yeah.
So, at the time, I was all angry and upset and sad. But I was like, I understand where you come from, but I'm all angry and sad. I was
Probably hurt.
Yeah, I was hurt too, of course,
Right.
yeah. And I slept, what was it? There was a porta potty on the trail there that, that runs along Dieppe, Moncton, and Riverview. Yeah, there was a porta potty. I think I slept a couple hours in there that night. Oh, it was quite interesting. I didn't know what to do with myself, really.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty low for staying on a porta party.
So, yeah, that's...
It was,
but also, also ingenious, though, to think, to say, there's shelter, there we go.
I don't want to say outside.
Totally.
Yeah,
Bird.
I mean, it's 2 in 1, really.
Yeah.
When you were kicked out of your parents' house, were you aware of any services in town, like in Moncton, or like how did you come about to go like?
I knew there were other places, but see, I lived in Dieppe. I was all the way in Dieppe, and the closest homeless shelter was by Moncton High, the Nazareth there. I was all like, oh, little old fat me, I didn't want to do it. No, I don't want to walk. I'll curl up right here, and I'm good for right now.
Yeah, you said earlier that you were lazy, and that was one of the reasons you got kicked out.
Yeah.
So lazy you couldn't get to a shelter.
Oh,
I'll curl up at the end of the driveway.
Yeah, so close.
no, I at least went the street over.
Okay.
No, but for the first little bit, it was funny. Funny now, but not at the time. When I was kicked out, I snuck in the back of my parents' house and I used the Wi-Fi for the little bit there on my cell phone. I was just like, what do I do? Just freezing my little ass off.
Probably a little bit of denial that they're not actually going to kick me out.
Oh, yeah, no.
They'll let me back in.
No, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I did that for... What? I think after a few hours of being in the porta potty, I went to the 24-hour McDonald's in Dieppe there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, so walked into the bathroom, sat in there for a little bit, and the guy came in. He's like, "You can't go sleeping in here." I'm like, "I'm not sleeping." Not yet, anyway. I didn't say it, but I thought that.
Yeah.
But the first night, definitely... That was a test of will, I suppose, because it's, you know, ever being put in that kind of situation, and I don't know what pulled me through, but I made it, and I think when I was at the Harvest House, and that's where I spent most of my time, was at the Harvest House more than the House of Nazareth. I befriended a little old lady. Oh my God, love her to bits. Her name was Fran, but she couldn't depend on herself for like the stuff that she needed, like cleaning around the house and all that. So I became her little, I suppose, roommate maid type of thing, you want to call it. So that was a great little exchange there.
Oh, okay. So she had an apartment.
Yeah, she had her own place there, but she couldn't fend for herself. So I was kind of, and she didn't want to go into those old folks' homes.
Yeah.
You know, she was all like, "Oh, I can do anything."
Didn't want to give up her independence.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh. Poor woman, but...
Which, ironically, was the thing you were fighting against when you got kicked out.
Yeah. That's what it is. Like, I don't want to...
Yeah. It was, oh, my. So, no, I dodged getting a job there for a bit, and I was like, oh, I don't really want to get a job.
Yeah, I remember those days.
Yeah. God. Well, because the way I seen it, and still kind of do, but it's better off being warm, is you're free... No, that's a lie. It seems like you have, when you're homeless, you have so much time for anything, but you can't do anything because everything costs money. But then when you have a job, you're doing so much time towards your job and the things that you need to keep up at your house that you don't have time to go do anything that you wanted to begin with. So it's like, what the hell is this? Yeah. Like, what is the system like?
Trying to find that happy medium of work-life balance.
It takes most people 30 to 40 years before they find the happy medium. I'll tell you now. Retirement is the happy medium.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So work hard young. So start working really hard when you're young so that you can retire early and then still have a little years left on the end to do all those things that you wanted to.
Yeah.
It was mostly of my fear of growing up and, you know, getting responsibilities and having to look for, like, oh boy, I gotta pay this bill, that bill, and all that kind of stuff, you know, stuff my parents would do.
Pretty overwhelming, right? Like, yeah. I mean, even now I find, like, sometimes, like, I got it pretty well under control, but even at 34... Sometimes you're like, whew.
Yeah.
You know?
Those companies, they just want to gouge you everywhere they can.
Yep.
For the longest time, dodging, you know, trying to get a job, trying to do this. Yeah, I even got into selling some paraphernalia, I suppose, let's say, for some cash on the side there. It was,
Do you want to extrapolate on paraphernalia, or
all right.
Is that?
No, I don't mind. I'll go further into it. For the first bit, I sold speed, and then I started doing that. Oh, I loved it. Horrible. Don't do it. I stopped doing it. It really starts changing who you are mentally and emotionally, which is not good. And if you can catch it, stop it. But after that, I started selling weed instead of speed. It was less risky. And, like, there was even a point where I had a guy sleeping on my couch because people wanted to come in and steal my stuff. Oh, it was...
So, yeah, wow, so...
Yeah, so...
It was, like, legitimate. You were dealing, and there was a threat of some robbery.
Yeah.
It was pretty...
That's when I worked at Irving, and when I first moved out at 21, before I went back to my parents, I was, you know, selling speed on the side of having a job, so I don't know why I was doing it, but I did it, and... No, I lost. I think they asked if I wanted to know the reason why I lost my job at Irving, because they fired me. Yeah. My manager, she refused to do it because of my loving personality. She did not want to do it. She was crying. She had to get her higher up to come in and do it.
Okay.
But he gave me a paper, and the paper was stating you're terminated. You're terminated, and blah, blah, blah. It didn't say details in the paper, but he asked me, he says, do you want to know why? I said, no. Kind of had the idea. I went in, the first time I ever did speed there, I went in, and, I thought I was done. I thought it was out of me. I went into work, and I couldn't stop staring at the SOS pads. I was just spaced right out, right messed up.
Yeah.
And a customer was staring at me, and I didn't realize he was staring at me for a couple of minutes there, and I'm on front cash. So I clue in, and I look at him, I was like, oh, shit, there's a customer there. And so I said, SOS pads, 2 for $5. They're not. They're not.
Good try to cover.
Yeah, well, so I served them, and I went in to see my assistant manager who was working. My manager wasn't. And I known him before I even worked at Irving. My first job at KFC, I knew him since then.
Okay.
We kind of followed each other there to Irving. But I told him, I was like, I can't work. He's like, why? And I'm like, I can't fake that I'm sick. Like, I'm not, and I never am. So I was like, I'm high. I'm too messed up. I can't come in. I can't work.
So you admitted it right there.
I did, right off the bat. I wasn't going to lie to him. You know me, so. But I got put on probation. You're supposed to get immediate fire, but after 4 years, we're like, oh, okay, loyalty, whatnot, blah, blah, blah. But I was put on probation, and then I got fired. Yeah, because in the time I was dealing with court. Love it! I was dealing with courts, and I called this woman the B word. At work. My coworker, not just a random woman. Oh my Jesus. I should clear that up. Yeah. My coworker, because she was spazzing at me about something, but she went back, started crying, and that was the straw for me. And that's when I got fired from there, from Irving, lost my apartment, moved back in with my parents, became homeless. Oh.
Became homeless.
And then became homeless, which was a great experience. Well, I like what I learned, but not the process. How's that?
Yeah. That end result was good. Getting there.
It's definitely something you won't get any other way than going through being homeless.
What do you mean exactly? What?
I suppose I should go into detail about that. You get to learn a lot, and it's forced in your face to learn a lot. Like the town for sure, definitely to begin with, being homeless. Oh, man, I lived here for about, 10 years now, and I never really knew Moncton until I became homeless. You explore, you see everything. What else can you do? Yeah, Youth Quest that's open until 4 o'clock, and then now what? No, exactly, right? That's the way it was. That's the mindset. You go to the soup kitchen in the mornings, and there was 2. There's one on Elma and on Dominion, and then after that, Youth Quest would normally open around 12 o'clock, and the soup kitchen is closed at 1. So everyone that's old enough, up and left, we all go to the Youth Quest. That closes at 4, and then you bob around and do nothing.
It's 5.
Close at 5, yeah, there we go. Sorry, Darren. Close at 5, then you're bopping around until the homeless shelter opens up. And that's probably around 7 or 8 o'clock. And even then you don't want to go in, because they force you to go to bed at 9:30. But, oh, I know, right?
That would be rough.
They force you to go to bed at 9:30 and lights out by 10.
Oh wait, no. Actually, nowadays, I wish someone would force me to go to bed at 9:30.
I was like,
no, you're up by, you're in bed by 10, you're up by 8, you're down for breakfast and up at 9 and out by, down for breakfast and out by 9. There we go.
And repeat.
Every day, right? I had to get you out and doing that. Except for the weekends, I think you were allowed to sleep in until 10 o'clock. Oh, look at you. But no, see, the thing is, though, growing up, that's the way it was for me. I was not allowed to sleep in past 9, and on the weekends, 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of, And I was an Army cadet, so it was like, I was used to that type of schedule and that type of thing.
Routine.
Exactly. But, besides finding out, the structure of where you live, besides Riverview, no, I don't know that place.
Never crossed the water?
I did a couple of times, but not enough to really... No, it's just, it's like a whole new world over there.
It's pretty much just a suburb of all really.
It is. It's like, wow.
Just houses.
don't go over there.
Yeah. Scary.
But
they don't have a soup kitchen.
I find it's great to make friends when you're homeless, because that's when you really have nothing, and that's when the people can really appreciate you for literally having nothing. You are there for the company, and maybe if you have a toke, which would be weed, or if you
cigarette to share,
sure, something like that. But it's a great coming together. It really teaches you you need to rely on your, who else is homeless with you. You really, really rely on those people, and you really come to. It's a great togetherness.
So did you find
that's right onto that point. I've noticed a lot of youth when they come in here make their own little families, like you said, that togetherness part, right? So yeah,
if they all feel like they're in the same boat type of thing. Yeah, exactly.
And exactly, I was riding right on that to say, do you find that once you guys have created your little family or your groups of people that you've relied on, once that you've all, one or two of you maybe have gotten on your feet or gotten in a better situation,
oh boy,
does the family, that dynamic stick, or do you go your own separate ways? Do you still try to help each other, or is there like a negative and a positive in that?
It can go in all those different directions. I suppose it all depends on where. Like if for me, when I got my job, I'm a manager at Papa John's, shift manager. I don't friggin' run the whole thing. Oh God, I don't think I want to. Anyway,
you've got a responsibility again.
No, I got more than I did before.
Yeah.
But no. Having my apartment and stuff like that, and I do want to help out my my fellow homeless people, fellow homeless friends and whatnot. But at the same time, you really need to guard against, being used,
right?
And having and having them stay over more than they need to.
Right.
And that's one of the things I try and keep in my head is that I got out of this. So can you, but you may need probably a place for underneath your feet, and I will supply that, but. I will watch the person, and I will be like, okay, what is your progress? You're not just using me for a place and then go or whatever.
Right.
What is your progress? Show me that you're doing something,
Good.
right? And
exactly.
It would for the homeless family, it would work and it wouldn't work. Some were in my mindset back then where it's like, I don't want to grow up in responsibilities and apartment and bills and all that stuff. I'd rather just go from home to home, or I've noticed this with some, from boyfriend to girlfriend to whatever.
Yes.
To just, that's sad to see, but...
Yeah. We've had that conversation before about that. Sometimes it seems people jump into relationships very quickly with the youth and this whole, right, our clientele here at Youth Quest, because now we're together in this. There's that little family.
Yeah.
Now I have a place to stay because you're there. And
Yep. And it just, it falls through. But
yeah, right.
It's interesting though, because we do see it often like that. Like you said, that boy A gets with girl B because one of them has a place to live or maybe is better off, and so they get together. It's easier and independent.
And they move in right away.
They move in right away. But if you remove the homeless environment from that, and you look, it still happens. Like, whether, people who have their own apartments and their own jobs and things like that still, there's a lot of people that still have those dependent relationships. Like,
those occur now.
Sure. Regardless, all the time. And it's interesting to see that people who maybe are in the homeless world, they gravitate towards that more.
More, I think, yeah.
But once they get a little more stable, I think that they see. I see a handful of them cease to do that. Yeah, they versus if the roles were reversed, if they're never homeless and they're always in that kind of dependent relationship, it doesn't.
It's interesting to see because to put it that way, it's like looking at take a person. Yeah, exactly. Take a person, and it's like they're fighting for either the animalistic part where it's like who can provide the most, who can do the most for me, and then to where we don't look at ourselves as that anymore. We're more
right.
What would it be? What would you call it?
So you're talking about survival mode
and like.
Where we don't like to think of ourselves as animals. We like to think that we have rationale, logic.
Exactly.
That
so
we're always working through those things.
It's like fighting between those two sides of your mind. It's like, you're going to throw that side of you away so you can have a place to live. Like, this person can provide for me. This person can do this for me. And, being homeless, you see that more in people, the more survival.
Survival mode.
Yes, exactly. More than the I want to build stuff and, the average everyday middle-class person, I suppose.
Yeah, and I mean, that's because they have to survive. And they're scampering a lot of times. It's hard, right? So you go back to you're trying to fulfill your basic needs.
Yeah.
Which is what our survival instincts are there for.
Right? And it's beginning to blur the line between, you know, friends and family and survival.
Yeah.
It's like, so are you doing this for survival, or actually, are you actually my friend? Are you actually, you know, someone that I can confide into?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, it's really beginning to blur that line, because you really find a lot out as well after you get stable for yourself.
Right.
And like, and stuff like that. You really see, oh, I need you for this and this. And I'm just like, that's great.
Yeah, there's probably some friends that feel fairly entitled to a piece of your success. Right?
I know this guy, everything's gonna be A-okay.
Yeah.
It's just like, maybe for now.
I'm guessing there's some people that were a part of your homeless family, I'll refer to them as, that probably don't ask you for money, but then there's probably some that probably do ask you for money, I assume.
Not very many. Not as
No?
many as I
Okay.
thought there would be, honestly.
What about free pizza?
Yeah, free pizza, yeah.
Homeless or not, everybody asks for that.
So I should.
That's right.
So at the end of this, I shouldn't ask.
Yeah. So about that.
That's a question asked no matter what.
Can't blame anyone.
It matters
It's pizza.
status income. Pizza is pretty fantastic.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
But I suppose for anyone that is listening, one of the things that I suppose you have to keep in your mind that it really helped me is that there's nowhere in any way, shape, or form it tells you that you have to go through everything alone.
Yeah.
At all. And for some reason, some insane reason, people keep having it in their head. Oh, I'm in this alone. I'm in this to blah, blah, blah. It's like, no.
Yeah.
No.
I've had a lot of youth that are on the streets come in and say they don't want help, or it's hard for them to ask for help. Is that kind of what we're referring to? Part of it, or that you just more that the whole feeling of being alone?
The whole feeling of being alone, I suppose, and then that does have to that does include with it, because like, well, what is it that instilled that in the person?
Yeah.
You know, and it's that really bugs the shit out of me. Okay, think of a brick wall. Okay, you need a bunch of little bricks to build the wall. It's the same thing with people. Everyone's little brick come together. We are a great big wall, and you don't see. A lot of people don't see that in themselves. That they're, you know, that they can be a part of something bigger. They see themselves as a lonely old brick that no one wants to put on a wall. It's like, no.
Some people are just another brick in the wall.
But that's a good thing. It wouldn't be a wall.
Yeah.
Going on with that, you said that, you know, it's people. Some people just feel like a lot alone, and as Darren said, like, it's hard. A lot of clients that we've had coming through the doors don't want help, feel that they don't need it, or they struggle asking help. In your case, what brought you through YQCast doors? Like, how did you land in here,
yeah.
and be, other than your charismatic personality, you were clearly able to ask for help, but how did you first get here?
Let's see. I think it was with another friend. Oh, I don't remember for the life of me. What was that? 2, maybe 3 years ago?
Yeah, it's been a few.
Roughly, yeah. Give or take.
At least 2, for sure.
I do remember walking through the doors for the first time, though, and having to fill out that sheet.
Yeah. How was that? Like, how did it make you feel?
I gotta say, what I do absolutely love about YQCast is that when you are messed up on whatever drug you're on, or whatever it is, I like that you guys only kick them out for a day. I do like that. It's like, you know, the resources are not cut off from you. It's like, I understand you're having a stupid day now, but you may not have one tomorrow, you know? And I absolutely love that. I had a friend tell me about you guys. I had to come see it and see how it worked out and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. It was funny. My father made a joke because your age limit is 25 there. You know, you have to be out at 25 when you turn 25. Father's like, you're going to be homeless until 25, aren't you? My father made the joke that so long as you can go to YQCast, you'll be homeless. I know it. But I got out of it. Yay. Yeah. But, no, coming here and filling out that sheet, they asked you to be completely honest. But, of course, that's up to you if you are. I told them everything. Oh, yeah. Anything they asked, I was like, here you go. Have it. And that's me. But other than that, after that, they give you the tour of the place. And then you're basically good to go off on your own and go on the computers or the food that's there, the TV and whatnot, which was very great. Oh, love it. Of course, I abused it there for a little bit. I was like, I'll stay homeless for a little bit, and I'm gonna, use up some of that stuff. But luckily, I didn't. I didn't stay the whole duration of my time limit, I suppose.
Yeah.
You were always one that you came when you needed it, and you weren't really one that's kind of stuck around when there wasn't you weren't taking from maybe others that needed it more than you. But there was times where you came in kind of in waves, like you were here for maybe a few times straight, like a few months or something, and then you kind of do better and then come back.
Here and there, yeah.
Here and there. And
it was regular for a while.
Yeah, regular, certainly for a while. Did you find that easier or good for you to be able to know that it was here, kind of, that you're doing well and it's okay? Like maybe, you're working and your things are getting better, but you're not at, peak.
Yeah. Not totally self-sufficient.
You're not totally self-sufficient in your life. Was that good to know that you could just come back, or easy for you to pop in once in a while and be like, you know what, today I need something?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, if Youth Quest wasn't here, I wonder how my life would have went. It was definitely very beneficial in all the good ways. It's sad to see that some people are abusing it, because I have, of course, you guys have probably seen it as well, but it's great to know that doesn't discourage this place from being open to any and everyone, because there was a time where I like he was saying, I did come regularly and I did use the resources.
But that's why they're here, right?
Yes.
But
they should be. Shouldn't it be here for okay, you're going to use it responsibly. You're going to come here. You're going to do your schooling. You're going to come here look for jobs, and not just come here.
What
to
in
use
your
this
eyes
place.
do you feel like you said? People are abusing. Yeah. What do you feel is someone abusing it?
When they come here and use your facilities, but do nothing with themselves afterwards. When they don't, they come here and it's all like, okay, I can get everything that I need for my daily here. And then just worry about this place again tomorrow, the next day, but not a job or a...
So where it's becomes more just a hangout and is a place to actually kind of use the services and move forward.
Yes, right? Like even a mixture of both is fantastic.
Right,
but
of course.
It's when you see just mostly people using it for the hangout and for the food and all that stuff. It's like, no.
Yeah. Obviously, we like to see people progress.
Of course.
And I'll just say that, from our point of view, we know most people are going to come in here and start to hang, right? That's their thing they're going to do for a bit. They're not going to get to know us. I mean, you're probably one of the exceptions where you probably start talking to us pretty quickly. But even when you first came, there wasn't a relationship between, say, you and me or the staff right away. But after a while, that starts to build, right? Mm-hmm. And when that builds, that allows the youth to be more comfortable and ask for things and feel that, oh, hey, I can talk to you about this. And then from there, we learn. And you're right. Some people never quite get that point where they want to try to improve. Some people do come in here and try to improve and just have struggles with that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I was curious to see your point of view of abuse, for sure. And just that's explained, I guess, our point of why we allow everybody to come in here, because eventually that relationship building does pay off in some ways.
Yeah. I've seen that too with you guys. Excuse me. And it was fantastic. I absolutely love it. There's honestly really nothing bad I could think of to say about Youth Quest. Really.
Any programs, actually, if we're talking about that, any programs here that you think would have been great to help you or help some other people that
are here at Youth Quest?
That are or aren't here at Youth Quest that could be?
Well, I never did a lot of looking into it. Okay. I was I'm one of those types where it's like I will use or try and use the bare minimal of something or of a place and try the rest to get on my feet. Like I know there were halfway shelters for men and women out there that that were on drugs and want to clean themselves up and all that. That could have been an easy escape route for me. I could be like, I'm fucked up. Sorry, I messed up on speed, or weed or whatever, and I want to get off. And there's a free meal, there's your free bedroom, there's your all that kind of stuff. But I'm more of the type where I want to use the least as I can and then try to get on my feet from there. So I wouldn't know about all the other things out there.
Okay.
I just know of what little things, I hear. But I haven't done an actual look into the stuff that could help me out there.
Okay. So just while we're talking about Youth Quest and services again, you said you didn't look into a lot, so there's probably not much more. You did food banks, the shelters,
food banks,
Youth Quest.
I think I went to a food bank once.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, soup kitchen. Sorry, soup kitchen.
Yeah.
You did that. That's what I meant. Soup kitchen, the shelters, and Youth Quest. Those are pretty much the services you used.
Those were the main 3 that I used while being homeless for a year and a half. Yeah.
And you came about those things through friends?
Well, I've heard about them before, like before I was in the homelessness.
Yeah.
Love it. Before I was homeless, I heard about those things and all that kind of stuff, just through the grapevine. But it wasn't until I actually became homeless that I was like, okay, let's look into this stuff.
Yeah.
I need to.
Yeah. Survival, right?
Yeah.
Kicks in,
but
for sure.
more than grateful to have Youth Quest there. Cool. And I hope it stays.
Yeah, so do we.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Otherwise, we'll be on the streets. So what was your turning point for, because you said you were coming here, there was times where you were just hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
What, was there a moment that all of a sudden, like, oh man, I really need to get a job, I need to clean myself up, or was it just slowly cleaning yourself up kind of, and like, realization?
I was waiting for this question, because this answer is a little obscure, I suppose. I loved shrooms. Absolutely loved them. Now, see, what I hate is that it's illegal. But see, I did a gram of shrooms there, and I had an epiphany.
Okay.
It was enough not to visualize, but to be emotional and be in your head and all that kind of stuff. And I just had like, that type of thing. Yeah. And what was going on in my life, it all clicked, and it's like, well, Edward, you're worth, and you're better, more, you could do better, you're worth more, and all that kind of stuff. It was very encouraging. Wow. I suppose I can't explain it. It was in my head. Yeah. But it was, and it helped me grow up. It was weird, but it gave me a perspective. And a week later, I got the job at Papa John's, and then I think a month and a half after that, I got promoted to the manager. I had just from that one go, I had such an inspirational epiphany. There we go. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah.
An inspirational epiphany that I didn't want to do anything less for myself.
So you just kind of came to a realization of, wow, I can do better. I deserve a bit more.
Yeah, and I had an immense connectiveness.
Yeah.
Is that the right word you want to use? Connectiveness to everything, sure. I suppose.
It's your word.
Well, I think of it this way. Like, when I'm walking to work, I press this button, and it allows me to cross the street. I look one way, there's 6 cars stopped, and a bus and some more stopped another way. And as one single person, I either slowed down or caused an accident. I make all these people stop in the middle of...
Hopefully not cause an accident.
Right, hopefully not, but you don't know, right? The outcomes.
Sure.
But I've stopped these people, and I'm just one single person. And you don't really realize the impact as one single person has in this world. You really don't. Who would be living in my apartment? Who would be eating my food if I didn't go do this and this and this, right? And it was that kind of... that popped in my head, and I was like, there's more to it than like, oh, I'm not all sad, I'm all alone, there's no way, no. It was none of that. It was, I seen the connection. And that really made me want to get out there and do stuff and actually get along, yeah, sure, with my life.
If I can slightly psychoanalyze for a second, you're a very social guy. So you've always been very social. Mm-hmm. And that just seems to be, that realization just seems to be an extenuation of that socialism of you being able to broader perspective.
Yeah, well, see, depression is a big thing in my family. My sister has it. I don't think my father does, but he's allergic to everything. So
he's allergic to depression?
He's allergic to everything. Like, oh man, it's simple dust, grass, like any animal. Yeah. Like this guy's, and I'm the only one in my family that has nothing. Like I'm not, depressed. I'm not anxiety. I don't take any pills. My mother takes a handful of pills. You name it, she's probably got it. And my sister takes probably just a little bit less.
Yeah.
And so I feel very fortunate in that aspect, and I don't know why, what makes me an exception, but I didn't have the depression and all that kind of stuff like my parents and my sister did. But I suppose I was like very little. enough for me to go through that homeless and, you know, have that little stage, but not enough for me to get out of it.
Right. When people refer to depression, we often refer to it almost like a mood. But depression itself, like real clinical depression, is not a mood, right? It's a mental illness that you cannot necessarily always be happy. But at any time of our lives, most of us can point to when, well, I was depressed at that moment, right?
Yeah.
So, like you said before earlier, that at one point you were almost suicidal. That would be a depressed moment.
Yes.
I assume, right?
Well, yes. But I think, because if you put depression that way, then, you know, that there's depression and like you're doing everyday things and you're just, you know, yeah, exactly. Whereas that one, it was more triggered, you know, more, so.
It's situational.
Yeah, exactly. Situational.
Yeah.
But, no, this was definitely that epiphany.
Yeah.
Helped me get through probably the little depression or whatever it was that I had. But
so, just if you can think about this, maybe you have an answer for it, maybe you can't answer it. But you said that the reason why, the epiphany and everything like that, the motivation seemed to be that you basically believed that you could do better or deserve better. Along those type of words, if not both, right? Why do you think you have that feeling? Because I've met some youth here that definitely don't believe in those things, and I'm sure you've probably met one or two on your time in the streets that don't believe that. So what? Do you know what might have allowed you to believe that, or?
Well, there's how many people in the world? A couple billion, right? 6 billion, 7 billion,
almost 8 billion.
Almost 8, of course, right? Almost 8 billion.
China, yeah.
China, yeah.
They just doubled too with their population.
Oh
now
Lord!
You can now have 2 children there in China. So.
Well,
which is a good thing, but
I find the best way to go about life is gaining perspectives, right? Yes. That's for me. That's the best thing, and as a perspective that I got is why do you think you're not worth it? Like, why? What is it in you that tells you are not? Yes. Is it because somebody else does? So that one person out of 7 other billion opinions, and you are one person as well. So why are you allowing that one person to give you that opinion and that definition and to stick with it? Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, no. Because you could say that to me, and you literally are one person in my life, whereas this guy might have a different opinion, right? Yes. So I thought of it that way. I started thinking, why would I let all this get me down? When literally you are only as important as you give yourself, I suppose.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you want to be important, give yourself that title and then work on it. You're not going. If you're sad and depressed, of course you're going to stay there.
Yes.
That's what you are. That's what. That's it. So if you give yourself, you literally, that's all you have to give yourself, because nobody else will. Nobody else will. You have to give yourself the strength. And you have to give yourself a new perspective. If you don't like the one you're in, then gain a new one, because that's what life's all about. And that's how everything exists. Everything that's around us is because someone had a perspective and created this or created that. So just gain a new one. If you don't like where you are, gain a new perspective and a new outlook on life. Yeah. But so that's what I did, and I started looking at it that way. And what I find is that if your goal is to go out there and to help people, you will literally get it in return. I've noticed that. I started getting it in return after coming to that realization, and it's all like, well, of course, with my talking and all my great people skills, it wasn't that difficult, but putting it in that perspective, I've gained more friends, I've gained more people, and I've had more people look up to me and ask me for like guidance. There we go. That's the word I was looking for. Ask me for guidance, because I'm not confident, but I walk around as if I am.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
The whole fake it till you make it.
Exactly.
Style, right?
And it actually works.
There is something to it.
There is something to it. But yeah, it's I suppose it's really when you start realizing that I didn't have a great outlook on me because of literally what the media would instill in you, like, oh, you gotta have this look, you gotta have this, and people out there will start dolling themselves up because of that, and then you start, you look and it's like, my boobs, I'm in a A-cup bra, you know what I mean? It's like nobody's gonna want this, right? But you just gotta get that out of your head. You literally have to put on one side, just be like, okay, these thoughts that I'm having, this is enforced by social media or by groups or one of person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you need to put that aside and just be like, it's an opinion. It's a thought of someone else's.
Yeah. And I mean, they're not necessarily... Well, they're trying to sell a product. Why do you need to look this way? Because, well, this is our product.
Exactly.
Right? Or why is it a pretty person in the movie? Because, again, it's a product we're trying to sell.
Yeah. Sex sells. What?
Right.
You know what? That's always really bugged me. Everyone's okay with that. Sex sells, but no, a woman wants to go feed her child. Oh, no. Never understood that. No.
Yeah.
We'll use it everywhere else.
That would be a good discussion for another day. Actually.
Oh, yeah, it would be.
Actually, that's something we should do. Maybe bring in youth and talk about certain topics along those lines.
Certainly.
That'd be a good segment we should look into.
There we go.
Talk about things like that. I think that was quite well said. I think we're pretty well.
Yeah.
You got anything else there, Trevor?
No, fantastic. Thank you very much for sharing.
No problem.
Well, Edward Williams, a.k.a. Tommy.
Hello.